Hey, everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Curation. I am Polydub. And joining me, as always, Inquisitor 8.1. Quiz, how the hell are you?
I'm okay. How is everyone? Hold on. I've got to mute the stream because it's fucking, I'm hearing double. Where the fuck is it?
The professionalism. The professionalism.
No, I'm serious.
I muted the stream before I even pressed start broadcast, man. That's how we do it here when we're pros.
No, I don't know why I'm hearing double. Holy shit, I'm going crazy.
Well, as Quiz continues his slow descent into madness, Jack, how are you?
I'm all right.
It was in Twitter? Why was it in Twitter? Oh, God. Anyway.
You all right, man?
No, I'm serious. I had the comic book curation tab open in YouTube, and I muted that, and I was still hearing an echo. So I had two echoes, right? So I was hearing it 3 times whenever you guys would talk. But it was in Twitter. I don't know why the embed in Twitter was actually running. Oh my God. Anyway, go on.
Calmly. It's so. Jack, I didn't hear over Quiz's bellowing. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Better than Quiz, apparently.
Did you receive a suspicious package today?
No, I'm not a person of any note or a Democrat, so I avoided that. Plus, I don't live anywhere near Florida or Washington, D.C. or New York.
Okay, nice. What did I want to start on today? Oh, I know what I want to start on today.
May I first note to Jacob, he said, good job sticking to schedule. We are decolonizing the schedule, so we are not using your colonialist time frame.
You know, this whole thing, don't you understand that's a colonial mindset that things need to start at a certain time? We need to deconstruct whiteness, and part of that is sticking to a schedule. So we're going ahead with doing it when it feels right.
Yeah, we're using our truth.
we're living our truth of being 2 hours late. Well, an hour and 55 minutes late. Whatever.
To be fair, I was sitting at my computer on time.
So was I.
See, Johnny Hellcat got the references. Throw those lightning bolts.
That's right.
So, in any case, and Pop-Tarts here calling us buttheads. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's appropriate.
So I don't know, man. There's been a lot going on this week. Where do we want to start? Did you know that Captain Saru is getting a new comic coming up from Star Trek Discovery?
Why?
There you go. That's my whole point. Is just why? This is IDW, and because they have part of that license, right?
Who?
IDW?
No.
Who's Captain Saru?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. No, see, I'm
Star Trek STD.
Yeah, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and man, nobody cares about Star Trek Discovery, guys. You're not going to make it happen. It's just the amount of. I mean, they're talking about we're going to do these different things for season 2 and stuff, and you know what? Best of luck to you, but you're not going to do it.
They've already lost too many of the fans.
Yeah, after the reputation that you built for yourself after season 1, creating something that's even worse than the JJ verse in terms of just it's action oriented, it's CGI oriented. The stories suck, frankly.
Yeah, that Mary Sue Michael. I mean, if Michelle Yeoh can't save your show, it should be on the air.
Yeah, it's clearly Star Trek discovering progressivism. It's the whole thing is tooled around being as progressive as possible, and that's no way to build a show, because that's not a show. That's an
agenda.
Yeah, that's a cavalcade of ideology, not a show. What the?
Ooh, see, if
I agree with Johnny Hellcat. He said I checked out after Next Generation.
Yeah, me too.
What? But after Next Generation, there was fucking Voyager, DS9, and Enterprise, and those were all quality. You guys checked out way too early.
Really? The word quality isn't the word I would use for that.
Well, I've not seen very much of Voyager, but
Don't.
what little I have, I didn't mind it.
They have a sea monkey as a chef.
I didn't understand the reason why people hate it. I'm just saying.
What, they have a sea monkey? Is it? We talking about Neelix?
Yeah, the sea monkey.
I
look at him. He's a sea monkey.
No, he looks like a space leopard. He doesn't resemble a sea monkey at all.
Oh, yeah, really? Hold on. I'm going to Google.
Are you, are you going back?
Monkeys.
Are you going back to those old comic book ads for sea monkeys?
Yeah, what else would there be?
Yeah, no, right?
That's what brine they look shrimp? Like. No.
Right.
That's what they are, is brine shrimp, man.
No, they're not. They're monkeys, Polly.
Yeah, they're billed as sea monkeys.
They wouldn't have the monkey in their name if they weren't monkeys. Checkmate, atheists.
If you could buy living monkeys that could be shipped to you dry through the mail, that you would then pour into a fucking fish bowl, and they would construct their own little castles and shit, atheists, that would be proof there was no God. That would be a godless universe if you could do that. Wait till he pulls up the picture. They have a little castle, and it's like a family. And
yeah.
All right, look. Okay, so here's some sea monkeys.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's go to the other tab. Let's see. We got our sea monkeys. Look at that face structure. Okay, we got like little dealy boppers or whatever. Boom, sea monkey. Same kind of facial structure.
No, he looks like a space
just as
leopard,
annoying.
Clearly. Just as annoying.
No.
Holy shit, he looks horrible in the first. Wow, they changed his makeup, huh?
Well, no,
several times because he looks.
Online. That's online.
Oh, okay, that's Star Trek Online. Jesus, they did a terrible job rendering him.
And he's kind of fat, so he looks kind of special needs ish. Sea monkey.
It's a special needs sea monkey. No, that's dude. There's no resemblance. There's none. I'm sorry.
I'll say this. I'll say this for Neelix. The one thing that I can't stand with Star Trek, and I don't, we can do a Star Trek, a plebeian Star Trek stream if you want, Polly, sometime. Get me on there. But the one thing that I noticed about Neelix, and the one thing I've noticed about some aliens in Star Trek, I hate it when they get really good actors to play those kinds of aliens, though, that have weird teeth.
Like all the Klingons?
Because all you can hear is the whistle of their dentures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like talking to a really old person.
Yeah, it's like Spock.
No, Sonny.
Well, no, like Neelix in particular, and whenever he would talk, he would have that weird shh with his S's.
Oh, you hear his dentures.
I just figured it was part of his mental problems.
Jesus, he's not mentally disabled, Jack. What is it?
Whatever. What show were you watching? Because I was watching Voyager.
Do you understand that we've lost 4 viewers since you started talking about sea monkeys? What are you doing to us here, man?
It's not my fault. They understood what I was getting at and decided, okay, I've seen enough. I know where he's going with this. He's right.
He's right.
And I just managed to pull up chat again, our incredible professionalism here. And Pop-Tart's asking us, did we forget how to run a stream again? I'm amazed that I remember. Every time I go to set up a stream, I'm like, okay, how do I do this again?
He's high on lean. Leave him alone.
Well,
yeah, I'm amazed I could get on the internet without help. I'm pretty old, so...
You're not, God, you and Hammer, man. You guys are really into your calling yourselves old.
Self-deprecating age.
Called an out.
You're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Back. You're no 12 o'clock flasher. You know what that is? It means every appliance in your house is always flashing 12.
Check this. Crack said he picked up Miller's Master Race finally. The collection is reborn. Woohoo. See, that first of all, that's an excellent segue into Miller Month. And it is Frank Miller Month here on Comic Book Curation. Go to hell quiz. And that's awesome. Master Race, Dark Knight Returns 3, the Master Race is what he's referring to. And yeah, it is sick. Good for you picking it up, man. It's a great series. Well written and incredible art. And it's full of my favorite Robin character ever, Carrie Kelly. You don't have any of the strange pederasty thing that Jack think is going on with.
There it is again. and you sit there and deny that you said it.
What?
Yeah, I never said that.
No, Jack's not the one that said it. You said it, Paul.
No, I didn't.
You
I said
just did.
Jack. No, I said that Jack said it. Sure. See,
no,
okay,
I
look.
never said that. I said he's a father figure, not a pederast.
Okay, just for the audience, for those of you who don't know, Jack claimed that Batman's a pederast, and
No,
now
I didn't. You're just making shit up.
And
you want to start crap? I'll get Coach Red Pill on here.
Coach Red Pill promised that we would never speak again. He made it clear. Yeah, he said it. He goes, Polly Turd, this is the last time we'll be talking ever. And let me tell you, it broke my heart. And it was, in any case.
Poppy's man, Chris, said that I am right about the sea monkey. So I have verification from a normie.
I refuse to accept the Neelix is a sea monkey argument. I just can't do it.
You're too close to it, man. You're in too deep. Just accept that I'm right.
Adam wants to know what a pederat waiter is.
Walter.
Jack never said he was a pederat waiter. He said he was a pederast. It's different.
Walter,
no, I never said that. You made that up.
What? Do you realize that we were
not an I.
Do you realize that we were live on stream at the time and it was recorded?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't say that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said that, Polly.
You may not have used the words, but I connected the dots. You see, that's the thing. I claimed that he had a psycho. We still haven't done that episode, have we? Exploring Batman's relationship with the various Robins.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'll do some major research on that one because, like, I've read some of the more core issues about some of the Batman and Robin stuff, including the very, very bad Frank Miller All-Star Batman and Robin.
You be careful. For all you know, that's what I'm going to pitch tonight.
And I will refute you on that one. You know, say it's a comics you should have read, comics you should avoid at all costs. But yeah, like I don't know, exploring some of those, I guess, in terms of discussion would be actually kind of interesting.
No, it would be, and I meant to get around to reading.
The end. Day's
Darkest Night. What was it?
Lonely Place of Dying.
Lonely Place of Dying. Yeah.
You don't even remember the title.
Well.
You're gonna end up watching some soap opera, like some telenovela. I don't understand how this is affecting Batman, but I really need to know what Consuelo's up to.
I was about to say telenovela. Like, I'm gonna turn on Mundo, whatever the hell it is, and why are they all talking in Espanol? This makes no sense. What has this got to do with Robin?
Yeah, but you won't be able to look away. It'll be like a South Korean drama. You can't, once you watch 10 seconds of that, you're in. You can't escape.
Do you watch South Korean dramas?
Maybe. They're pretty hot.
Like, really?
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah, I can't tell if you're kidding or not. Are you?
No, I went down a dark rabbit hole a couple days, and I was like, "What am I doing with my life?"
Like, I know you like Asian girls, but if you're watching like South Korean soap operas, you've really gone to a strange place, man.
Whatever. Don't judge me. It's a dry spell.
There's always porn, remember.
Yeah, okay. But you know, sometimes you want to get a little weird.
Sometimes you want to get a little weird. All right. Tonight's
it's better not to go any further with that.
Hold on, I'm just pulling up. Displaying my professionalism. Talk amongst yourselves.
Everyone likes K-pop, Mr. Adam. Do you like K-pop?
J-pop forever.
I do enjoy J-pop, but K-pop has been winning my heart lately. Twice as Likey has really been on my playlist quite a lot.
Twice as Likey? Is that the actual name of the song?
Twice is the band. Likey is the song.
Oh.
Anything by Hyuna. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. She just got out of her contract. She got fired from Cube. because she was dating one of the male singers from was it BTS or something that both got fired. They
how do you know this?
I have the internet.
Yeah,
and
dude,
way too much free time.
There is gigantic communities that are completely dedicated to that sort of thing, including translating it all into English.
There's giant communities dedicated to recoloring Sonic. It doesn't mean you should know about it.
Well, recoloring Sonic is cringy.
Okay, that's just weird.
Looking at extremely hot Asian women gyrating around on stage is not.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you guys. Our thumbnail for tonight features a very sexy Wonder Woman. Diana, looking good, looking good.
That's from Wonder Woman Year One, by the way.
Which I haven't read, but I'm looking forward to. What year is that?
It's brand new. I think it's I think it was part of the New 52 line.
Really?
Yeah, that looks like her New 52 outfit.
Yeah.
Who wrote it?
Let me find
some guy.
I'd be interested in seeing some like new Year One Wonder Woman. Like,
I'm betting Greg Rucka wrote it.
Yeah.
In any case, I wanted to ask you guys about the Gal Gadot film, the first one, 1984, the prequel. It's getting ready to be made. I'm assuming Quiz, because you're strange about these things that you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen what?
Wonder Woman.
No, I've seen Wonder Woman.
You saw Wonder Woman? Okay, Jack, you've seen it, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But, oh yeah, I was in the theater jacking it. Okay.
No, I don't do that in the theater. That'd be weird.
That's where you draw the line at weird. Okay, all right.
Yeah, you do that in the projection booth like a normal person.
So thoughts on it?
I liked it. There were bits in it that had me going.
Really?
Yeah. The whole fireside sort of conversation with the Native American starts talking about how oppressed his people is, and she goes, "What happened to your people?" And he nods over to oh God, I can't remember his name.
Whitey, just call him Whitey.
Whitey, and says his people. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that women's suffrage.
He didn't talk about many of the other tribes and nations that probably were more responsible for wiping out his people.
I think he was nodding at smallpox, which was probably floating in the air everywhere
there. Yeah. Okay. No, I had actually forgotten about that scene.
Yeah. That was one scene that really made me, and that's one that immediately comes to mind about sort of the kind of stuff I didn't like about Wonder Woman. Things I did like about Wonder Woman, everything that Gal Gadot did, because like comparatively speaking, all of that sort of stuff that kind of brought me out of the movie and said, "You're losing me," movie was everyone else other than her. And
really, you didn't like Chris Pine in it?
Well, Chris Pine was okay.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, some of the other stuff that really brought me out of it was just not her. Chris Pine was fine. He was a pretty good driving character in it, but of course it was all about Gadot and her characterization.
Well, as it should be, right? I mean, she was the protagonist.
She's the title character of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like having a Batman book with hardly any Batman in it. I'm looking at you, Tom King. And
preach.
Testify.
So yeah, no, I really did dig the movie. I thought it was overall very good. Some of that stuff, it was just kind of a cheeky, elbow nudge at people, but otherwise,
Okay.
Yeah, I really dug what was there though. I thought it was good.
What about you there, Jack?
I liked it. I thought it was a popcorn film for normies. Nothing spectacular, but definitely not a bad film. And the action scenes were done pretty well. The slow-mo scenes with the bracelets that looked really cool. Yeah. And I liked that she smiled. She enjoyed what she was doing.
Yeah.
I see what you're getting at.
No, because like DC films are way too dark. These are characters that in the 70s and 80s were always smiling. They liked helping people. It wasn't some broody mess. It was like people that enjoyed using their abilities to help others.
Yeah, unlike Superman and all the DCEU films where it's always a burden when he's helping people. Zack Snyder has this strange thing about making superheroes feeling like they're weighed down upon by having to save someone or commit some sort of good act. And when people are thanking them, they look even more depressed than when they're in the middle of doing the thing to help them. You know, I don't get what's up with Zack Snyder in that.
He has like depression issues the same way Tim Burton has daddy issues.
Well, you know, they smiled in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that movie was stupid.
And well, all right, let's not start a fight. I know how Quiz feels. I'm assuming you thought Suicide Squad was a better movie than Wonder Woman.
I thought it was about on par.
Oh, okay. I liked Wonder Woman a lot. I was actually talking to Monkey and Company over there about it, and one of the things they complained about was Gal Gadot's accent. I thought her Israeli accent really worked with the character. It made it seem otherworldly because Americans aren't really used to hearing an Israeli accent, generally speaking. It just sounds a little different. It's like Marina Sirtis, who played Counselor Deanna Troi, based her accent off of her Israeli roommate because she wanted it to sound different, but still very much speaking English, but a different kind of accent. So she based it on that. I thought it really worked, but they thought, oh no, I could barely understand what she was saying. I didn't have any trouble understanding what she was saying.
No,
I didn't.
See, look, smiles. Look, happy people, bright colors. Oh my God.
See, and you know, I'm not down on the whole, you know, dour sort of aesthetic either. I mean, one of my favorite, you know, fictional franchises is Warhammer, and you can't get more depressing than that. But at the same time, I think that, you know, especially if you're going to have a superhero story, you need to have your heroes being heroic.
Yeah.
You know, have the darkness all you want. Have that be your villain. Give them, you know, make them the worst possible people in the world. That makes your heroes shine brighter.
Yeah, but I mean, it's thematic. Each character should be treated like they are heroes. Like Batman, you want to do dark, okay, I get that, but Superman doesn't work as a dark character.
It only works when they make him a villain, like with Injustice or Red Sun.
Yeah, exactly. And those are like Elseworld books. They're not going to do those right away. So I don't know. It just kind of bothers me when they try and make everything so drab and depressing.
Yeah.
If I want that, I'd go outside in the real world and deal with my own real life problems. I want some fun. And I thought Wonder Woman pulled it off really well.
Well, by that same token then, because Wonder Woman still had a little bit of, and not to get too far away, one point that I wanted to bring up was the fact that I really enjoyed the fact that they made it a point that when she crossed no man's land to fight the Germans in their foxholes, she didn't kill anyone. She made it a point that, you know, she was using non-lethal force. I don't think she used lethal force until the very end of the movie when she killed, I think.
Don't ruin it for everyone. Movie ruiner.
Movie ruiner. The movie's been out for over a year.
Like 2 years, probably.
Yeah, I think about 2 years by now. So yeah, like because of that, I really dug that. I really appreciated that. Not a whole lot of people, I think, noticed it, but I did. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up is, what are you guys' thoughts on the trailer for Shazam?
Well, no, hold on. Let's not get off of Wonder Woman quite yet.
I'm just saying because I'm not getting off of Wonder Woman either. I'm just saying because
nobody wants to get off Wonder Woman.
Well, I want to get off Wonder Woman. But
some Justice League for you. You can tie me up with your lasso of truth.
I'll tell you the truth.
I don't know how I got on this show.
we felt that the creepy quotient was a little low, so
creepy nothing. I call it sexy time.
Yay! So because of that, though, I mean, Shazam looks fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That DC characters are, a lot of them need to be aimed at younger audiences. Mm-hmm. Superman and Shazam, they're power fantasies because they're so insanely powerful. And what do kids have? No power. Yeah. Because their entire lives are pretty well regulated. You can't just run around and do whatever dressed in a tutu all day. So they have these power fantasies, and something like Shazam especially works great as a kid's movie. And that's exactly how it should have been marketed. Mm-hmm. I am really looking forward to that movie. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good too.
If he's not depressed helping people, I just don't see how it could work. It's...
Well, we don't know how the movie will turn out. Maybe he'll hang out with Batman, and they'll sit around and talk about people named Martha all day. And then he'll be so depressed, he'll be all bummed out and just start murdering people on his way home. I don't know.
Scene was badly misunderstood.
No, I know. I actually do like Batman versus Superman, but I'm a rare exception on that one.
Really?
Especially the extended cut I thought was actually fun.
Okay.
Was not you have got to tune in. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Hold on. You have got to tune in to the Lords of the Night on Monkey's channel on Saturday, because I'm going to be attempting to convince Scribe Light that Batman v Superman is a better film than Dark Knight Rises, because apparently that's a controversial opinion, and I'm like, it's not really hard to make that argument. I think people are just, the aura of hate that is developed around Batman v Superman is people are influenced by it. It's like, no, take a step back from it and really look at it. Dark Knight Rises has an aura of Nolan is a genius around it, but really look at it. Is it really that good? Well,
I think they're good in different ways, because I mean, they're totally very different movies. Dark Knight Rises was like trying to send a message of hope after defeat, whereas Batman v Superman's about a jaded guy who's like, oh, this alien, damn it, I'm gonna, like, the old man that's like, get off my lawn, because he's all bitter and jaded. Jason Todd's dead. He's all, his whole life is kind of just messy and dark, and he deals with scumbags all the time. So of course he's bitter and jaded, and he goes around murdering criminals now because he's that kind of guy.
Well, he brands them more than he murders them.
He murdered like 30 people when he was flying through the air and shooting machine guns off.
Well, yeah, let's not forget when he was driving the Batmobile over people repeatedly.
Yeah, yeah. Those people are dead. No, they're just sleeping.
It's almost like it's an all-star Batman and Robin Batman.
Your pathological hatred of Frank Miller is not welcome here, sir. But
it's very, very, it is kind of pathological, your hatred of Frank Miller. I'll give you that.
All I'm saying is that Crazy Steve is not Batman.
We will so yeah, if anyone who's listening is interested, I'm going to be doing my best to make that case to Scribe Light over on Monkey's channel on Saturday night, so that should be fun. And I don't think it's going to be fun. I don't think I'm going to be able to convince Scribe at all. Monkey said he's open-minded to the idea. Okay, that's good to hear, but we'll see how it goes.
See, the thing about it is, I also say, the one thing that people say is that the Nolan trilogy is brilliant. I'm like, there was one film in the trilogy that was brilliant. Only one. The first one people forgot about until Dark Knight came out. It really did. That one, it flew under the radar. No one talked about it. No one really cared.
No, we do care, because he had a chance to stop King Joffrey from coming about, and he didn't do it.
What?
The kid that played Joffrey from Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
he was in Batman Begins. He was the kid that was with Katie Holmes in the street, and he's hallucinating.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't watch Game of Thrones. I don't know.
Not even Game of Thrones. I don't even remember that in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that film again, because all I remember is Liam Neeson fucking up. He
has an extremely specific set of skills, Polly.
Like knitting or something.
Okay, look. Wonder Woman.
I like
we're here to talk about Wonder Woman.
We were, because she was in Batman versus Superman. It all ties together.
I thought she was awesome in Batman v Superman. Great. Like her, I thought it was a little stupid when she's getting on board the plane, that scene, and she just like looks at the television set in the back of the headrest, and she's like, "Oh, look, it's a monster. Well, better go fight now." Like it was that was a little.
Were you disappointed because the plane wasn't invisible?
You know what? I never thought about that, but now that you mention it, yes, I do feel a pang of disappointment.
Well, that's supposed to be in the new one.
One of my absolute favorite things in the Injustice game is that there's a stage with Wonder Woman's invisible plane, and you can like hurl your opponent at it. You can just beat your opponent's face into the invisible jet. I
loved the interactions between Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck at the fancy soiree party that they were at. I mean, first of all, Gal Gadot looks stunning in fucking fancy evening wear, and the sort of like back and forth, and they kind of know who they both are, or at least Batman or Bruce Wayne really suspects that this isn't just some woman, and everything, and it's all subtextual. It was a great fucking scene.
Well, the white outfit she was wearing is an homage to the old comic book uniform she had in the 70s.
Oh, you're talking about the one where she was Secret Agent Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Secret Agent Diana Prince? Yeah.
So let's talk about why Wonder Woman, other than Gal Gadot being hot, is on the thumbnails, because Wonder Woman 1984, the prequel, the next film, Wonder Woman 2 that they're doing, has been pushed back, which I find really odd. And the story I'm reading here is from Variety. Man, in reading Variety, especially for like these streams for Comic Book Curation Live, Variety is they're shiltastic, man. They're I thought Variety was like, it is the industry standard for Hollywood. You're supposed to be reading it. You're nobody if you're not being written about in there. But if you ever go to the website, I mean, they're talking about like right now I'm looking at it, Megyn Kelly with the blackface. They're talking about Bohemian Rhapsody. They're talking about CNN headquarters being evacuated today. Trump bashes the media with endless hostility. What? This is Variety is supposed to be the Hollywood magazine of the industry. What the fuck is going on? Like, none of these things even seem vaguely related, or they seem very ideologically motivated. Like, this has become another leftist garbage tier article, and I hate to
they all are
leftist, but
everything is trying really hard to be BuzzFeed.
There's a good way to say it. Variety reads like BuzzFeed, and that's weird to me. I hate to constantly accuse everyone of being a leftist, but I mean, you guys are living up to it. Just kind of look around on their website and it's like, what the hell, man? So anyway, Wonder Woman pushed back to 2020. Warner Brothers has moved Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman 1984 back to June 5th, 2020. The sequel, which is set in 1984, replaces Mark Wahlberg's $6 billion Man, which has been taken off the schedule. I didn't know that. Did you?
No.
I heard it yesterday.
I didn't know Marky Mark was going to be making a $6 million man.
$6 billion.
$6 billion. Updating it.
Yeah, and he's been inflated.
Are they going to make that joke?
I probably.
Kind of like how in the RoboCop remake they said I wouldn't buy that for $1.
That was a great line.
I think they would have to have a guest appearance by the original in there too.
And get Jeff Goldstein talking here. Jeff Goldstein, Warner Brothers president of domestic distribution, said, quote, "We had tremendous success with the release of the first Wonder Woman film during the summer. So when we saw an opportunity to take advantage of the changing competitive landscape, we did. The move lands the film exactly where it belongs." What the fuck was all that crap? Like, man, there's some behind the scenes jazz going on. Some different things moved around, some different things happened, funding, whatever. Like, the film is done. They're just doing CGI stuff, and it's in the can, if you know what I mean. But the changing competitive landscape, you mean the DCEU has been tanking. You no longer have Ben Affleck as Batman. You no longer have Henry Cavill as Superman. When they're talking about the changing competitive landscape, I think they mean Marvel has been beating the shit out of us so badly. The superhero genre is running a little long in the tooth at this point. We are completely unable to compete because we really suck. So that's what I'm reading through this.
No, they don't suck. Their movies don't suck. Zack Snyder sucks. The hype around the movies that Zack Snyder had nothing to do with and the reception of them have been fairly good. I think Aquaman and Shazam are going to do fine. They just need to take Zack Snyder off of the fucking creative director position.
Okay. Let's talk about Aquaman for a quick second before I get back to this article. Chat, am I the only one that finds Jason Momoa creepy? He's creepy, right? Pop-Tart, don't answer.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to make an enemy out of Pop-Tart here.
I already have. I'm trying to...
No, I think he looks kind of creepy, too.
Thank you.
I think it's the contacts.
Are you sure it's just not his fucking face?
No, I think it's the contacts he's got. I think he's got a at least in terms of his portrayal of Aquaman, a bit more of an interesting personality than almost any of the other DC characters at the moment. Shazam excluded, but yeah, I think Aquaman's actually going to do fairly well. I mean, when I saw the trailer that had Black Manta in it, I'm like, I'm in.
yeah, that really did look really cool.
I think Black Manta looked really cool, yeah, but I still haven't seen the second trailer for Aquaman. And Zelthor mentioned to me that it looks different enough. Mostly what I remember from the first Aquaman trailer was like, people riding seahorses and everything was super colorful and glittery, under the sea. It looked like, Ariel and her friends. It looked like the Little Mermaid live action or something. It was.
I don't get what you're talking about there, but I thought it looked pretty good.
I could pull up visual examples, but I'm not going to. It looked glittery and bright and super CGI'd, like the whole thing was filmed Star Wars prequel style in a giant green screen warehouse, and there probably isn't.
It probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably trying to save on their acting budget, and doing it all CGI is actually pretty cheap now.
Well, I think that they're probably doing very Lord of the Rings style there.
They want it to be an epic.
Well, a lot of the extras are just going to be CGI'd. The only people that they're probably going to get to be actual actors are going to be Aquaman, Mera, Black Manta, and Orm.
Prophet of Drunk says he has a rape face.
This is confirmation bias, Polly.
I don't know if I agree with that.
You're cherry picking here. Johnny Hellcat said he met him at Emerald City Comic Con. Seemed like a good dude.
Well, okay, now hold on. Zelthor said he didn't find him creepy at all, so I'm not cherry picking. See, there's a opposing opinion.
You're not cherry picking now, and I called you on it.
Well,
details.
Don't be a dick. And Johnny Hellcat, like, I'm not saying that the guy's not a good dude. You're missing the point. I said he's creepy. Now, he met him and he was a good dude. Okay, Johnny, if you ever meet him again, you tell him to stay the fuck away from my woman. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
I think they really missed the opportunity, though.
Which one?
What do you mean?
They should have cast Momoa as Lobo.
Yes! Oh my god! With the way he acts as Aquaman, that would have been awesome!
Yeah, he would have been perfect. Because he looks like Lobo. He looks like some creepy bounty hunter.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because he's got like the beginnings of dreadlocks, doesn't he? And like Lobo's always had that sort of like, is it dreadlocks or is it not dreadlocks look? Yeah.
It's a dirty, I don't wash my hair look.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'll admit it. I'm a little bit biased because he's banging Lisa Bonet, my childhood crush, and I'm not okay with that. So.
Oh, okay, Lisa Bonet. I thought you were talking about Pop-Tart or Eve. I was like, which one?
What? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, you
just
stay
walk
away from
Polly.
Pop-Tart. Like Pop-Tart would be perfectly happy to talk and hang out with Jason Momoa. She thinks he's cool and attractive for some reason. Go figure. Back to the Wonder Woman. I just said Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
I'd watch that movie too.
Wonder Woman 1984 is the 8th installment in the DC universe. God, that's sad, huh? There's been 8 of them things.
Wait,
before
what do you mean?
This will be there's been 7, and this Wonder Woman movie will be the 8th.
Oh, this next Wonder Woman. Okay,
that's right. It's surprising that there's that many and they still haven't managed to get a foothold and a solid audience and been able to fix their reputation at this point. They're still struggling, man.
The DCEU.
Yes.
Well, what's out? It's Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Justice League. Then it'll be Aquaman, Shazam. What's
the
7?
first Wonder Woman?
Yeah,
first Wonder Woman. Okay, and then 8. So okay.
The film was originally set to be released on December 13th, 2019, but was moved forward to November 1st to avoid being just a single week ahead of Lucasfilm's Star Wars Episode 9, which opens on December 20th, 2019. Oh, the good news is Chris Pine will also be back, and Kristen Wiig joins as the villainous Cheetah. I did not know that.
Nice.
I did not know that. Cheetah will be in it. I hope they make her look cool.
Oh, Kristen Wiig, though, isn't she one of those Saturday Night Live people?
I don't know.
She was in Girl Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The blonde one? Is that who that is?
The tall, skinny one.
As
that
long
was
as
like the serious scientist.
Right. Yeah. That's the one I'm thinking
so
of.
Bad.
Yeah. Gadot and Jenkins were producing along with blah, 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 blah. Warner Brothers bought the rights to $6 billion Man last year from the Weinstein Company. Yeah, I bet they got that at a cut rate from them, huh?
Fuck yeah. Bargain basement pricing.
Yeah, that was a fucking fire sale for sure. Everything was just going. So they bought $6 billion Man, but they shelved it. I had no idea that they've completely shelved that entire film. That tells you a lot about the state that they're in and the changing competitive landscape.
I could see her being Cheetah, especially with, that profile.
And here it is. Wonder Woman 1984 is currently the only film dated for June 5th, 2020. Gadot made the announcement Monday on her Twitter account. Oh, I see. There's your answer. It's like, we really, really need some great box office success with this. Wonder Woman, the first film, was good and very well received and did well financially. And we need to give it every chance in the world to be a success because our reputation is shit, Yeah. So we're
well, they don't know. They don't know for a fact how well Aquaman and Shazam's gonna do.
True, but their most bankable thing right now, hands down, is Wonder Woman.
Yes,
and they know that. Yeah,
it's proven success. Like even Suicide Squad still had what's his nuts?
Will Smith.
Well, yeah, no. What? Fuck. The director guy, son of a bitch. Zack Snyder had Zack Snyder on as consulting for it. Wonder Woman was the first DCEU movie that had absolutely no Zack Schneider influence.
Huh.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say too much was already in production at the time. So when they found out it wasn't working, it was way too late to change everything.
Yeah.
The tweet that Gal Gadot sent out this is funny and I think speaks to something. What she wrote was, super excited to announce that thanks to the changing landscape, we are able to put Wonder Woman back to its rightful home, June 5th, 2020. Be there or be square. Be there, be square. Wow.
I'm just hoping that what they want to do eventually leads to the movie that I really want to see, the one that they announced that they wanted to do and had Margot Robbie really psyched and amped to be a producer for it, which was going to be the Gotham City Sirens movie.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Alfred.
I would
the Alfred Pennyworth film.
Because, Suicide Squad was a big risk. How many people who, know about comics know about Suicide Squad?
I did.
Not very many. Okay. That don't know about comics. Sorry.
You weren't specific.
Yeah.
Probably not many.
Yeah. Like they don't know about Suicide Squad by way of comparison to say, Batman. So it was a big risk for them to do something like Suicide Squad. I think it's an even bigger risk if they do something like Gotham City Sirens.
No, because there's hot chicks in it, like a lot of them.
Right.
They could make that like girl power central and people go see it just to see scantily clad women.
3 of them.
Well, I mean, there's going to be villains too.
Well,
So
they are the villains. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got they're going to be the protagonists, and then the antagonists are going to be some other chicks.
Well, from what I've heard, at least from the ideas that the rumors that people were kicking about, it was going to be Gotham City Sirens versus the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, see, there's 6 chicks right there.
Yeah,
that's 12 boobs on screen. That's going to bring in tons of nerds who will see it time and time again.
Yeah, okay. I understand what you guys are saying. I find it interesting just how unified all of their messaging is. Like, it's thanks to the changing landscape, says Gal Gadot, and then Jeff Goldstein is to take advantage of the changing competitive landscape. It's yeah, you guys are very unified in your messaging here. Well, it's not that we're having problems, and we don't want anybody talking about that we're doing this to put it in the middle of a desert of new films coming out, so it's pretty much the only thing to see, and we know that it's a highly bankable thing. We don't want people saying that. So it's because of the changing landscape. That's why we're doing it. That's what I'm reading here.
You know what I think it is, Polly? DC have been paying attention. They realize that Marvel have painted themselves into a corner. With all of the people turned to dust, what are they going to do? Captain Marvel. When Captain Marvel fails, what is DC going to do? They're going to release a Miss Marvel, and then they're going to release a Squirrel Girl. Then they're going to release a America Chavez.
They're not making.
Don't you talk like that.
They're not making an America Chavez movie.
If they make an America Chavez movie, I will be there camping out, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I'll go see it. Don't get me wrong.
I'm going to be in my doomsday bunker waiting for the 4th seal to open.
You know what they're gonna do, dude. You know that they what's his name? The head creative director for the Marvel. Yeah, Paul Feig. It's his name, right? Paul Feig.
Yes. Feige.
Whatever. You're lucky I'm not pronouncing it the other way.
He's already said that the future of Marvel's the MCU is female.
Well, we'll get into something related to that quite quickly, but I did want to say, chat, if you like what you're hearing, and I certainly hope that you are, please feel free to subscribe and like. Pushing the like button certainly helps. The 2 people who hit the downvote, I'm assuming Zelthor and Pop-Tart. Okay, good for you. Yeah, by all means, like and subscribe. I wanted to talk about this one thing that I did see while looking around on Variety. Nothing's going to prove that they're really a garbage tier website at this point than this article. Natalie Portman, step-by-step guide to toppling the patriarchy.
Speaking of the future for the MCU is female, meet your female Thor, people.
What? Oh yeah, Natalie Portman. Yeah, she is Jane Foster. So she's Natalie Portman is female Thor.
It's femme Thor.
So this article is really short, and this is just like an attempt to push their own party. You'll see what I mean in a second.
Smash the patriarchy.
Ever since Brett Kavanaugh was confirmed to the Supreme Court, Natalie Portman has had trouble sleeping. Quote, My son asked me the other day why it looked like I had been wearing goggles, Portman told the crowd at Variety's annual Power of Women event presented by Lifetime. They're advertising their own event in their own news article and acting like it's news. The Power of Women, it's called. Her response was, baby, she told him, Kavanaugh, I don't sleep.
Now the kid has nightmares that there's like a Supreme Court justice under his bed.
Right? Portman went on to emphasize the problem with demonizing female rage and provided a step-by-step guide on how everyone can help with those systematically marginalized. Quote, stop the rhetoric that a woman is crazy or difficult, Portman insisted. If a man says a woman is crazy or difficult, ask him, what bad thing did you do to her? That's a code word. He's trying to discredit her reputation, she said. She continued.
And so what's the code word when you do it to men, bitch?
Oh, that's not a real thing.
Oh, yeah. It is.
That she continued, if any group you are a part of only has people that look like you, change that group. Be embarrassed if everyone in your workplace looks like you. Natalie Portman, the very proud Israeli, you think Hollywood might be a little homogeneous in terms of a certain kind of representation, perhaps?
Fact.
I'm just saying, if everyone looks just like you, are you fucking kidding me, Natalie Portman?
Wait, is it really pronounced homogeneous and not homogenous?
I just wanted to stick the word homo in there.
In American English, it's homogenous.
Is it really?
In fancy British talk, it's homogeneous. Because they have stupid way of saying everything, like aluminium and other kooky nonsense. Other backward ways of talking.
I get into this debate on campus whether it's hegemony or not. Like, can we not do this here too?
I don't care. It's just saying.
I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I just thought that it was pronounced homogenous.
See, you think I actually care about this, but I don't. I'm just causing trouble.
But the point is, if anybody wants to go over to Variety, you can find out how Natalie Portman is totally into diversification. She's bonkers, willing to smash the patriarchy, offers a step-by-step guide, and wants complete diversity except for the demographic that she belongs to.
Yes. Yeah. You know what we call that? Misandric. Got it. Okay.
I think it's just hypocrisy. Or hippocracy, as they say in
Hippocracy,
Britain.
Yes.
See, the British are weird people, man. It's that island air or something.
Is that the oath that doctors have to take before they can perform medicine?
They swear allegiance to the hippo god. His name's Crassy.
So, as everybody knows, Chuck Wendig got his ass fired for writing about prolapsed assholes. I kid you not, all over his Twitter. He's been raging against comicsgate people, calling them a hate group and every other damn thing under the sun.
There's a new shirt for you, Jack. Raging against comicsgate.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna steal that idea. Thank you.
Modify a Rage Against the Machine album cover for it.
So he did get his ass fired from Marvel for writing Star Wars books, as he had been doing, and
Shadows of Vader.
Yeah, and an Untitled one that was coming up, which he was. I've been reading about how he was like in increasing stages of his contracts being increasingly lucrative, which makes sense. Like if you write a book and it's very successful, and you write another one, it's more successful. You can command higher and higher prices for your authorship. That future one apparently was a really big, painful financial hit for him to have been separated from, which probably explains why part of the reason he's so pissed off. But this guy appears, Chuck Wendig, to be pissed off all the time anyway. Like he's, goddamn, man, that guy raged about Trump all day, every day on his Twitter. Well, in his bio, attaching himself to Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel, et cetera, and got called into his boss's office. And his boss said, man, it's nonstop venom and vitriol from you. You've been doing it. We've talked to you. That's it. You're done. But leave it to CBR.com to come and explain what really happened to all of us. Star Wars writer Chuck Wendig's Twitter appears to have been targeted by bots. Oh, no.
Of course.
You know, it's so funny hearing that NPCs are calling other people bots. Funny.
Earlier this month, author Chuck Wendig was fired from Marvel Comics before he was able to complete Star Wars: The Shadow of Vader miniseries in a yet unannounced Star Wars project. That was the lucrative one I was mentioning. The news came courtesy of Wendig's Twitter account, the very thing that got him fired. He has since compiled his side of the story in a blog post, while Marvel has declined to comment, where the writer confirmed that he was fired due to the controversial content on his social media posts. That's one way of describing people as prolapsed assholes, controversial content, sure. Wendig said that Marvel considered his tweets too political, too vulgar, and too negative. Right. Fair enough. And I don't think we've talked about this before, right, guys? That there's the problem isn't you being political on Twitter. The problem is you being political and tweeting it out from your professional account, because now it absolutely, in a PR sense, sounds like you're speaking on behalf of the company you work for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think what got him fired was the tweet about Star Wars fans being white supremacists. You don't go after your fan base.
Yeah,
they could go after comic skaters.
Marvel ever cared?
Well, that's it. I think Disney got on them about that because they've already had too much controversy over The Last Jedi that a big Marvel writer calling their fans white supremacists, they can't afford to lose any more of the fan base. Because then you're losing normies.
I'm hoping that that we see more of this then, because not only will, number one, you be right, but number two, it's going to confirm the suspicions of a lot of comic skaters, right? Like the whole idea behind it was the fact that, you know, people trying to interact and say, hey, I don't like this story. I thought you wrote it kind of bad. And it's like, well, you fucking Nazi. That is not good customer service.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what comic skaters have been saying.
Well, they've been milking the idea that Comicsgate is a really small community. So Disney would look the other way on that. Mm-hmm. So if you're going after them, it's not a huge deal. That's not a big fan base in their minds. But going after Star Wars fans, you're looking at generations of fans you're crapping on. People that have money. So you can't afford to alienate any more of the people than have already been alienated by the movies that Disney has already put out. And they know that they've alienated a lot of people.
Yeah.
So one of their premier best-selling authors crapping all over a lot of normie fans, that's pretty unacceptable. I think that was a cover-your-ass move by the editor to keep his job, because they were probably coming down and saying, look, you either fire him or we're firing you and him and 5 other people. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Buy Jack's t-shirts.
Hey, I'm gonna show like a whore. I don't care.
I didn't say you shouldn't show your stuff. Go ahead.
This has been going on for a very long time. Have the higher ups and the stockholders, the board of directors, and all of them, you know, the people higher and higher up the food chain, not seen the declining sales in comics and now Star Wars?
Well,
is this coming as a surprise?
Yes, actually, because it comes down to the bottom line thing. A lot of people have made that argument, and I find it fairly persuasive that Marvel has been able to make up for their declining shipping numbers by shipping a lot of number ones and events and reboots, and they and increasing cover prices. You know, the bottom line amount hasn't dropped as much as the shipping numbers have dropped. They've been able to make up for it. But of course, like Jim Healis points out, you can't keep that up for very long. Eventually, that's going to fall apart. But again, as people pointed out, Disney owns Marvel as an IP farm. They're buying the characters, not not to put out quality comics, et cetera, et cetera. And I agree with Jack, once you have somebody, the cash cow that Disney owns is Star Wars. They paid fucking, I don't even remember the number, but it was in the billions for it.
I think it was like $4 billion.
Like just a unfucking imaginable amount of money for this thing. And Solo tanked, and they're like, wait a minute, our cash cow, our golden goose ain't laying no eggs, or stopped laying eggs. We can't have this. And you got Chuck Wendig out there going, oh, you fucking white supremacists. Like, no. We've got enough bad PR. We're attempting big business moves, appropriating other companies and trying to do things. And this guy's out there doing this. Yeah, you're a small fish fucking around with somebody's money.
That's why I thought it was because of the white supremacist comment. That one got a lot of press. Yeah. I mean, that was all over the internet. And then he starts mocking comic fans on top of that. That was just the last straw. You know, you can push that line pretty far, but the fact that he didn't learn anything from it, and it tells me that he's not going to get a job back in the industry anytime soon. He might do some small press stuff, but that'll be it. Because if he was smart, he'd have been like, okay, it's apology tour time. and then get radio silent for a long time, release a few indie books through Amazon or something, and just kind of lay low for like a year. And then he could get rehired somewhere doing like Star Trek novels or something like that. Somewhere where he'll kind of sneak in and work his way back up to Star Wars. Then they'll hire him back. They've done that sort of thing with other writers over the years and let them rehab their image. But these new writers, they do not understand that screaming at their fans is just not productive.
Yeah, so Johnny Hellcat named the number at 4.05 billion. Like, yeah, when you've got that,
4 billion.
When you've got that amount of investment in something and it's tanking or has tanked and looked like it's running thin. Thank you, Kathleen Kennedy. I really do. I do put it on her. She's the one making the big calls and hiring she's the one hiring the directors and firing the directors and replacing directors and so on. It's her vision. The Force is female.
The Force is female.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last Jedi did not perform up to expectations, and the backlash on Solo, I mean, they had already invested so much money into Solo because of firing the directors and all the reshoots that Ron Howard had to do. There's no way they were going to make their money back with the backlash. And that really, really, really had to have woken up somebody at Disney, because you cannot throw that kind of money away, even at Disney.
Yeah, no, you can't. Not that level of money. And that Umbrella Guy, which is going to segue us into our next topic here, he pointed out really well when you look at their annual return statements, because Disney is a public company, so they publish their quarterly reports. And when you look at them, the only thing that's making money for them is their parks.
Yeah.
Their recreations, restaurants, all of the things, all of their other stuff is not doing very well. And it's because of the amount of capital investment and other complicated stuff. You can watch Tug's videos on it as he kind of explains the detail on that.
And the Fox acquisition too, that's put a lot of money at risk.
So it when people ask, why is Disney doing a live action remake of every one of their animated classics? I wonder why. Because it's name recognition. People are going to go see it. Their parents are going to take their kids. We need money flowing in, and this is a very, very safe way to do it. Star Wars was a very, very safe thing up until Kathleen Kennedy got her paws on it, and it turned like it started to downturn. It's like, I can't believe people didn't go watch Solo. I can't believe Last Jedi didn't do as expected. We need a course correction here. And in that environment, like all that jazz we just talked about, you got one of your authors out there calling fans white supremacists and prolapsed assholes. And like you said, the white supremacist thing got a lot of traction. People paid attention to it, which caused people to, what does this guy spend his time talking about on Twitter? Oh my God.
Yeah. Especially because he's a best-selling author. It got that much more attention. If this had been some no-name that wrote like one book or submitted a short story to a fanzine or something, nobody would care. But the fact that he had a best-selling book, which was pretty terrible, he had name recognition, and that really, really drew way more attention to him than it probably should have.
And as Johnny Hellcat points out, and Kathleen Kennedy got a promotion. I
think they're promoting her out of positions, like failing upward.
Yeah.
Like she's probably got a contract, and they're like, well, how can we get her away from Star Wars without actually looking like that's what we're doing?
Yeah, I mean, her contract wasn't terribly long. 3 years, her renewed contract, but people at that level, they don't get fired because it looks disastrous when you just straight up fire somebody who's the head of Lucasfilm, because it looks like your house is in complete disarray. It's better to, like you said, fail upwards, just promote her out of the position. Fine, here, take an increase to your already shocking 6-figure salary, but we're getting you out of the way, and it doesn't look like we're in complete disorder. When you can your general, it looks like the whole thing's been fucked up. You know what I mean?
They'll give her some do nothing title where she signs some paperwork, but other people will be making the decisions. Whether they're good people or not, I don't know. But I could guarantee you that's a 90% chance of what she's doing is moving into another position so that when this contract is up, she'll retire with grace and dignity and just silently move on.
I had mentioned that Umbrella Guy, Tug, and he's a great streamer. I'm a big fan. I think we all are of his material. If you haven't checked it out, his content's awesome. He streams regularly.
Well, I love that guy.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he really is, and
he has a new video every morning for me. Yeah, I watch it on my way to work.
He gave me a shout out on the air once.
Oh, really? That's sweet. Yeah, he's got a huge amount of interactivity with his audience, which is cool. Oh, yeah. I really love the way he does his content.
And he laughs at my jokes.
He laughs at a lot of things. I wouldn't read too much into that.
Nope, I'm taking what I can get. Thank you.
I say I actually was in one of the chat rooms for on Edwin Boyette's channel. We'll get into that in a second, but I had some interaction there. It was mainly bants back and forth with John Malin, but
nice.
I actually talked with someone on in that chat room who got Blue Mamba as well. So
nice,
cool.
But quiz on the subject of Tug.
Well, for those not in the know of who that Umbrella Guy is, and if you don't know, what are you doing, man? You need to go and check him out. He's great. I can't oversell him enough. He's, like I said, he has a new video every day. I watch him on my way to work every day. Unfortunately, a little while ago, he had gallbladder surgery. And then a little while ago, like a couple of days ago, he had his appendix burst. So he's been in and out of the hospital quite a bit. But adding insult to injury, on his way out of the hospital after having his appendix out, his channel was struck with a copyright strike, or not a copyright strike, a community guidelines strike.
Yeah.
He's unable to stream on his channel, which is the reason why it was that stream was actually on Edwin Boyette's channel. He was flagged for deceptive and like inappropriate practices or something like that.
Yeah, it was like spamming or something, wasn't it?
Spamming and deceptive practices. It's ridiculous. He filed the appeal immediately, and as soon as he did, it was sent back and said, eat shit. That Umbrella Guy, he did reach out to Trusted Flagger. But, of course, getting Trusted Flagger, more people to advocate for that Umbrella Guy, for good old Tug, would definitely be a help. So if anyone can come away with one thing that we implore you to do as comic book curation listeners is to help out Tug, go out and talk to Trusted Flagger. If you have connections with YouTube or know anything like that, to try and help him get his strike repealed.
Why don't you throw the Trusted Flagger link up in chat so anyone who is so inclined can reach out to him and say, it's like, that Umbrella Guy, hashtag free that Umbrella Guy. Yeah. One of the things that I don't think is, maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist on this, but I don't think it's accidental that that Umbrella Guy found himself being named as a lieutenant of the comicsgate movement in a garbage tier article online.
But they got rankings now.
Well, you didn't. This actually turned into
we're privates.
This actually turned into a funny thing because Tug does a video about it. If you go to his channel, you can see it where he's talking about it. Where he reads through the article, and he himself got focused on by somebody who's. Everybody complains about Ethan Van Sciver. Everybody complains about diversity in comics. So this garbage tier fucker decides, oh, well, I'm not going to go that route because everyone's talking about them. I'm going to find another enemy, as it were. And it's like, so who else is big online? It could have been Yellow Flash. It could have been, you know what I mean? Just some guy, right? But he decided to pick Tug. That Umbrella Guy. So he writes, goes, he's a lieutenant in the comicsgate movement and blah, blah, blah. And Tug tweets to Ethan Van Sciver, I had no idea that you as the leader of comicsgate had given me the rank of lieutenant. That's pretty lowly, man. I thought I was more important than that. Can I get a real ranking?
Yeah, you gotta be a captain,
he's Southern.
EVS tweets back to him, Capo.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have gone with a mafia structure more than a military structure.
EBS keeps talking about The Sopranos because he's watching the series right now, and I'm like, dude, you're funny as fuck. Yeah, you got the rank of capo. And then he comes back later on in the day, Van Sciver, and says, I've reconsidered. You're Archbishop. You are the Archbishop of Comicsgate. So, Tug has been running with that, and it's that kind of thing, and that notice around that article, and it's caught the attention of shitty actors out there and anti-Comicsgate fuckers and the Renfamouses of the internet, if you know what I mean. And I don't think it's an accident that he caught a terms of service community guideline strike right after that.
Oh no, I'm sure it's coordinated. Rumor has it that the word Comicsgate is getting demonetized automatically by YouTube. So,
which, you know, when you look at the 3 tags that I put up, comics, comic books, Comicsgate, and that's okay. People say that that's an attempt to shill. I don't know. It's not. It's an attempt for people to know what kind of material they're looking at. If you want to watch Comicstorian, I mean, go ahead, I guess. Well, right. To me, that's the most milquetoast, boring comic book.
No, that's comic books for fake geeks. That's normie stuff.
Yeah, it is. If you want to go watch some normie comic book stuff, yeah, go and digest Comicstorian or the like. Like, sure, he's got a lot of viewers, but it's like, exactly, it's normie as fuck. If you want to enjoy that, go and enjoy that. I put those tags up so people will know. Well, we'll have a sense of what kind of material it's going to be. You know,
yeah.
So anyway, as Quiz said, and I think he's quite right. Hit up the Trusted Flagger online, and I think it would mean a lot to that Umbrella Guy just to see people making that move on his behalf, because that's got to be disheartening, right? The guy's, he streamed all the time, and now he can't, because
that's where you make most of your money.
Yeah, and because some secret asshole out there decided to take a swipe at him because he wants good stories, not having progressive politics beaten over your head. And unfortunately, he doesn't rail against Trump all day. So this guy must obviously be a bad person. Let's strike him. And it's fascinating how one community guideline strike like that can completely end and deplatform and shut this guy's voice off, because he does, I would say he does 3/4 streams to 1/4 edited videos. Would that be fair on that Umbrella Guy? Yeah. So they shut off 3/4 of what he does and the mass part of his revenue income from it. Now, Tug has a day job. He makes that very clear that this is a side thing, but it's got to be demoralizing. So I'm sure he'd love to see the support.
Yeah. Let's see. He does have a day job and that, but it's nice seeing the side income, and from people that are generous enough to give him money. It's definitely a blow. And I think that of all the people involved in this sort of thing, Tug is, come on, who hates Tug? Come on.
Peter just asked, how many subs does he have? He just broke 10,000.
Yeah.
He's like and what's fascinating about him and Yellow Flash is their view count is incommensurate with traditionally how views to sub ratios work. Like they'll get thousands of views. You know, like let's say that you got 10,000 subs, right? Most people will get like a small fraction of that are actually viewing. You know what I mean? Like Onision has like 2.1 million subs, but he's only getting like 10,000 views on a video.
Well, I've said it before about him, and I'll say it again. The reason why he has so many subs is because he got that Daniel Tosh boost.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's fair to say, and I think most people would recognize that generally speaking, here's how many subs I have, and here's how many views I'm getting regularly on a video, and it's a small fraction of it. Guys like Tug and Yellow Flash managed to blow that ratio out of the water, where he's got 10,000 subs, and 3/4 of those people are watching his videos on a regular daily basis. They do very well, but not anymore, because some secret asshole out there decided to strike him in the shadows. Fuckers. So I did want to talk about one thing. God damn it, we broke our hour time limit again. Fuck.
We're never sticking to that. What are you talking about?
I know. I've got to stop saying that we're going to do things like be on time, have a certain time limit because we could never.
Yeah. Soon it'll be like, I'm just going out for cigarettes, kids, and then we'll never see you again.
Talk about daddy issues. What's going on over there, buddy?
I don't know. I'm just making crap up now.
All right. So let's talk about the final thing before we move on to our comic book pitches, because this is the most, not depressing, but predictably annoying thing that could have come up. Reading from CBR.com, MCU veteran says the next Captain America could be black or female. Because of course. I think we might have mentioned something called replacement theory on the channel.
This is going to be the America Chavez movie.
Right. So here it goes. The Marvel Cinematic Universe veteran Frank Grillo thinks that the next actor to play Captain America could be African-American or a woman. Known for his role as Crossbones in Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Captain America: Civil War, Grillo addressed who could succeed Chris Evans as a Star-Spangled Hero following the events of Avengers 4. Appearing on Larry King Now, Grillo was asked whether he knows who will play the next Captain America. Quote, "I don't know," he admitted. But there have been rumors that the next Captain America could be African-American. It could be a woman, so they're looking. Evans has already suggested that he will exit as Steve Rogers with 2019's Avengers 4, leaving the door open for someone else to pick up the shield. The mantle of Captain America in the comics has been passed to Bucky Barnes and to Sam Wilson on separate occasion, but it's, of course, unknown whether that might translate to the big screen, with either Sebastian Stan or Anthony Mackie stepping into the role. If the next Captain America hasn't already been decided upon, all of the above choices could lead to some interesting MCU possibilities. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has promised a push towards a female-first Phase 4, and Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is already confirmed to become the new face of the franchise. Well, Haley Atwell's Peggy Carter has passed away, Emily Van Camp's Sharon Carter is MIA after Thanos' finger snap. I don't want to talk about that because I really liked Haley Atwell playing Peggy Carter, and that's the only comic book show that I ever watched was Agent Carter.
Yeah, it was one of the best ones too.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Was campy, but I dug it.
It was fun.
I really liked Haley Atwell as Agent Carter. I liked the character. She was spunky and cool.
She had moxie.
Yeah, and she had great gams. So we that's the article from CBR. But let's read the fun one. The Mary Sue. You ready? Is everyone?
Well, I'm ready for them to suggest Serena Williams as Captain America.
Oh, I missed that. Peter said, I bet it was Matt Mundane who struck Tug. Someone's being successful and it's not me. I don't like it. Okay, from the Mary Sue, our next Captain America could be black or a woman, but why not both? According to Frank Grillo, Mr. Crossbones himself, the next person to pick up the mantle of Captain America could be African American or a woman. During an interview, blah, blah, blah. And then this is repeating the information. Now, there are two characters who are obvious picks to take over the role of Captain America, and they are Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, and Sam Wilson, aka Falcon. I dig the character of Sam Wilson, frankly. I think I like the actor. I like the role. But anyway, as both do that at different points in the comics. Well, Bucky is a white dude. Sam Wilson is not. And the actor playing Sam, Anthony Mackie, has said before that he would like to eventually become Cap. Well, yeah, fuck, who wouldn't? However, Mackie is currently slated to lead the upcoming season of Altered Carbon. And his current contract with Marvel, according to Den of Geek, has him slated for 6 movies. Whew. Damn. Right now, he's at 5, with the next Avengers movie being 6. Sebastian Stan, in comparison, signed to a 9-film contract. Oh, sweet child, what is you doing?
And he's a cyborg American, thank you.
I just want to be clear here. It actually, I didn't make that part up. It actually says, oh, sweet child, what is you doing?
That's dumb.
It's possible that they could bring the character of America Chavez and
Called it.
I just need a minute. I mean, I'm dismayed that Quiz was right.
I called it so hard.
You called it.
I actually read the article before we came in. So
I didn't even know about this article, and you two are both sitting there saying, "Didn't you read that Mary Sue article?"
I just pulled up the tab. And I'm reading it now for the first time. Okay. Sorry, I just need a minute, y'all. Excuse me.
America Chavez.
It's possible that they could bring the character of America Chavez / Miss America. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, why did I read? I'm going to pre-read all the articles now, guys.
No, it ruins the fun.
Okay. That they could bring the character of America Chavez / Miss America and just put the mantle to rest rather than putting some poor African-American actor or female actor in a role where they will just be compared to Chris Evans for all of time. Inherently, I'm not opposed to race bending. And Marvel does have a long history of legacy characters, so it makes to bring in new faces.
It makes to bring in
new faces.
They left out the word sense.
It makes sense to bring in.
This is so garbage tier. Jesus,
it's Mary Sue.
It makes to bring in.
Okay, so
that's like going through the trash and being like, "There's disgusting things in here."
Sorry, that was good. There's disgusting things in here. Okay, it makes to bring in new faces. The brand allows for that. Still, inclusion and diversity should be more thoughtful than just, let's put a black person in the role. Who Captain America is meaningful to people, both in real life and within the universe?
Terrible sentence.
What the fuck? Who Captain America is meaningful to people, both in real life and within the universe? That's not a sentence.
Can I make a poll? Yeah, I'm going to make a poll. Okay.
You doing a Twitter poll? Okay.
In
the meantime, for a person of color, especially an African American of slave descent or a native actor, would really be a huge statement. And the writers would need to not be afraid of exploring the content of what occupying that role and identity would mean. At this point, if they do give someone the Cap role, I say extend Anthony Mackie's contract. His character is one who was meant to carry on that role anyway. It'll make sense. He and Steve have that bond, and it'll allow Steve's two boyfriends to carry on his legacy after he's gone. What? Okay. Don't cast for a gimmick. Cast for the heart of the character, because it's what will carry the role.
So romantic.
I don't want to discuss this article. I'm done with it. There, closed.
Hey, Mr. Negativity.
Oh yeah, I'm the one being.
I admit I'm bitter and surly, and I think this is a terrible plan. But you know they're going to do it.
What was the line there? The line that we were marveling over?
Hold on. I'll have to reopen it.
It makes to something.
America. I can't believe the America Chavez. I can't fucking believe it.
It's got to crawl into the brains of these people.
Inherently, I'm not opposed to race bending. No shit. And Marvel does have a long history of legacy characters, so it makes to bring in new faces.
We do need Meteor Man too.
It's not going to all fit.
I want to share an image, and I want you to, without cheating, take a guess what character this is. If you already know, then obviously don't play.
There we go.
What character is this?
It would be Bane in Gotham.
Yes, you are correct. You knew that.
Okay.
That's Bane. But you know, what is the Mary Sue upset about by this image?
I don't know, but I want to know.
That he's not Latino enough.
Yep. Stop casting white dudes as Bane.
I could play the home game,
right? Yeah, you should be on a quiz show about SJW-isms.
Yeah,
there is she. Well, was it written by a she or a he?
Yes, Princess Weeks, one of our favorites.
Princess Weeks wrote this article here on Captain
America.
Yeah, she's a nut bar, that one.
Yeah.
Is Princess Weeks unaware that there are plenty of white Chicana and white Latino people? There's a lot of them.
Hate facts, man.
Blancos, like that's a.
He's also half white. His dad's British.
So is she unaware of this, or this is just the newest?
No,
thing?
It's mentioned in the article. She just doesn't care. She wants a straight up Latino guy in a luchador mask, like a walking stereotype. And it's really disturbing, actually. Because like I don't care, so much if they get somebody that's more Latino looking or whatever that means, but just make a character good and interesting. That's all anybody really cares about. This is not replacement theory. The guy's half white. Maybe he looks more pale, more like his father's side than his mother's side. So what?
And let's say it's his mother that's Latino. Okay,
it is.
She's a Blanco Chicana, and so what's weird?
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, I know lots of Hispanic people that look very, very white. They're very light skinned. They don't have that strong native look that a lot of people do.
But they're and in lies kind of the point that I wanted to end at. Like, so for Princess Weeks, yo, complexion ain't dark enough. I'm upset. Yeah. That's that's what her entire point boils down to.
Yes. That's
okay.
It's colorism. So he's not dark enough.
Yeah, you, Princess Weeks, are a racist. That was a racist thing to say. Just putting that out there. It's
yep.
Okay.
Damn it! Did my poll not go up?
Damn it!
What the fuck?
All right, gentlemen, it's time for pitches. Like we always do about this time.
I was trying to start a poll to have the name of this episode changed from "Waiting on Wonder Woman" to that line about the "it is, can be, whatever" or something. Just that whole line about the Damn it.
Sorry you're having problems with your poll.
Yeah, my fucking.
I see what you did there.
My poll is.
I might suggest some Cialis.
Has some real ED on it.
So, who am I going to volunteer? Jack.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to my folder here. I got a lot going on my desktop.
Sifting through the tentacle hentai.
Shh. They know already. I'll show you my desktop. I don't care. I have no shame.
Did you want to go first, Quiz? Will Jack sifts?
Oh, I've already got it up.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool.
No problem with my poll. I'm pitching Green Lanterns issues 50 through 57. A storyline called Evil's Might. Something is corrupting the power batteries and messing with the Green Lanterns, giving them wrong information, etc. And it is a real interesting story by Dan Jurgens, who's a fantastic comic writer from the 70s and 80s and 90s and the now. And it's all about these different Green Lanterns trying to figure out what's going on. They think one of their own is a traitor. And in fact, they actually end up fighting Cyborg Superman as well. And he's up to some shenanigans. And as you can see from this cover, we end up at Coast City.
Is it blown up again?
Oh, you're going to have to read the book.
Oh, man.
But I really like... Mike Perkins did almost all the art inside for it. And it was really good. Santucci did some work, but I don't really count that. It's okay. But Perkins did most of the work. It was really fun. Great storyline. Here you get to see Simon Baz and Jon Stewart using real guns because their rings aren't trustworthy enough.
Yeah, that's something you don't see a lot. A Green Lantern with a gun.
Yeah, I think they should add guns. It's a Kryptonian gun too. Just check that face out. I love that image.
Was Kyle Rayner like someone that, or yeah, it's Kyle Rayner, isn't it?
Yeah, Kyle Rayner was in this issue or in this story too. They used all the human characters. Like these two were ex-military, so when they got guns, it's not a big deal because they've
Rayner
had
was
training
ex-military?
before. Simon and John Stewart.
Oh,
John Stewart was a Vietnam vet originally, and they've had to update it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Kyle Rayner.
I thought the only people that were involved in the well, the only humans that were involved in it. I'm not up to knowledge on the new characters other than Jessica Cruz.
Jessica Cruz and Simon are the main characters of the Green Lanterns book, but they canceled Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, so they moved everyone else over to this title to wrap up this series because the series ends with this storyline.
Mm.
And Cyborg Superman looks really cool. Perkins does a real good job on his mechanics. And I just really liked a lot of how they did the storyline because they really give everyone significant airtime to kind of tell their story and wrap up the storylines. There's Guy Gardner and Kilowog. So you get to see a lot of different stuff go on, and it's actually a really fun story. And a couple of Lanterns die, and of course, Cyborg Superman is a real serious threat, but it was a fun book. I really enjoyed that storyline. My last 2 reviews for this are going to get posted in the next 3 or 4 days. So if you're interested, you can listen to those. That's my pitch.
Nice.
Yeah, like I said, the only new character I even know very much about is Jessica Cruz, and that was mainly because I saw the one bit where she was on the run because she was accused of murder and was trying to prove her innocence.
Yeah, that was a fairly weak storyline in my opinion. Tim Seeley is incredibly hit and miss for me.
Yeah.
That one was okay, but I didn't hate it, but it just wasn't like they could have been a lot better. They really need good editors with some of these writers. And Dan Jurgens, he's been around forever, so he knows how to tell a good story.
All right.
But yeah, I really liked that storyline. I was real excited to share.
That's okay. You know what? I'm going to call that a successful pitch because I want to read that. That's
awesome.
Okay. Quiz, you want to go or shall I?
Yeah, I can go. What I'm pitching today is written by Bill Willingham, penciled by Lan Medina, and inked by Steve Leloha, lettered by Todd Klein, colored by Sherlyn von Vackenberg, and cover art by James John and Alex Malev. This is, and I'm gonna pitch kind of a long series. So for those that have the endurance and stamina, that's kind of what you're gonna need here.
What is it with you and all the dick references?
Fabels.
Oh.
There's a Vertigo imprint that came out a while ago. It had a grand total of 150 issues, and issue 150 is a trade paperback. So if that shows you anything about all of the storyline here, essentially what the story breaks down to is that there's this other sort of world separated by these portals where all of the fairy tales, the fables from our world exist as real entities. So you've got your classic sort of characters like Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood. One of the main characters through most of the book is the Big Bad Wolf, or as he goes by in the real world, Big B Wolf. And essentially what it is that these characters become refugees. They have to leave their homelands because of a war. And this war is tearing through the kingdoms, subjugating and annihilating all opposition. And it's all led by Geppetto of Pinocchio fame, who creates toy soldiers that, they can, be killed carte blanche. It doesn't matter for them. They can just make new ones. But if a person dies, that's a big blow. And so throughout the entire run of the book, the Fabels have to sort of learn to cope with living in the what they call the Mundy world, the mundane world, where they, can't openly use magic. That's it's going to give away their sort of position. Not to mention also that conventional firepower. The military is infinitely more powerful than their magics, just that their magics can do strange and wondrous things. So eventually, in a later arc in the book, they actually get weaponry from the mundane world and go back through the portals into their homelands and fight a guerrilla war and take back their homeland. And in my opinion, it's one of my favorite comic books I've ever read. There's a whole bunch of like political intrigue, drama. There's a love story between Bigby Wolf and Snow White, and there's also a lot of humor in it too. One of my favorite bits is when Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty, Rose Thorn, all get together and talk about how they were all married to the same man, Prince Charming. So. Overall, I think it's one of my favorite books. I picked up every single issue of it in trade paperback, which was no small feat. It's 21 volumes, I believe. This is another reason why I always say, go to those resale shops. I picked them all up at half price books, so I got them at half the cover price.
Nice.
Yeah, and I do highly recommend it. I think it's great. For those that are interested in video games, there's actually a Telltale video game about Fabels, The Wolf Within, where you play as Bigby and have to solve a murder.
Okay, Jesus.
Cool.
That was an unexpected pitch from you, Quiz. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Warhammer in it. There was no, but that's actually an interesting take on Fables. It you know what it makes me think? What the fuck is Vertigo doing?
Yeah, right. They did something great like this.
No, there's a phrase that covers this. It's called shitting the bed.
Yeah.
Right. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about in chat, it's Vertigo.
Oh shit. I fucked up. Yeah, Johnny Hellcat corrected me. Yeah, it's not the Wolf Among Us. That's the Gabriel Knight sequel. That's the Beast Within. What the fuck? I'm all kinds of fucked up. It's Wolf Among Us is the name of the Fables game.
All right.
I think we're burying the lead here. Why did you have Steam open? Are you playing a video game?
No, I'm actually talking to a buddy of mine about Warhammer.
All right, that's Warhammer had to come up at least once. We got a Star Trek reference, and we had to get Warhammer in there.
Okay, on my pitch, and of course, as we all know, it's Frank Miller month, and
don't you do it?
What's that?
Don't you do it.
Do it.
Oh, I've already talked to Jack about this one. He knows what I'm going to be talking about. I'm pitching Martha Washington.
Oh, yeah. You recommended this to me. I haven't read it yet.
It is odd and interesting and fun and unexpected. It has Miller-isms in it, in that his political satire is just steep throughout this thing. Frank Miller loves to do political satire and satire of corporations and international corporations and corporate greed, that kind of thing. It's a mainstay of his. It's an odd storyline of a dystopian future where the United States is broken into many sections. You can see, there it is. I'm kind of doing a double map thing here because I don't have it set up for 2-page views. But the main character is a woman, and there she is. Her name is Martha Washington. She's born in Chicago in one of the separate sections. It's drawn by Dave Gibbons, written by Frank Miller, and it is classically his style. It is very talky. The story moves fast. You can see it goes like in 1995, this happened. In 1996, this happened. You never have trouble following it, though. It's one of his narrative abilities that he can tell really complex stories with, get a lot of information along with just little bits of narration. Years later, it would have been my father that died the year the president was elected for the first time. Like, because it keeps happening again and again. As you can see, there's lots of riots, and the United States is very much a dystopian landscape by the point that it breaks up into different areas.
Looks like Berkeley.
Yeah. There she is. There's Martha Washington herself. And the story tracks her, and it's published by Dark Horse and ended up being spectacularly successful for them, to the point where they ran a number of other series in it. I just wanted to pull up the list so I myself could get a look at it. This one, of course, is Give Me Liberty, which is the collected edition. It was published originally as 4 comics and is now in a collected edition under the name Give Me Liberty. And then there is Martha Washington Goes to War, Happy Birthday, Martha Washington Stranded in Space, Martha Washington Saves the World, and finally, Martha Washington Dies. It's available in a number of collected editions. It is so worth reading. It's the kind of story that it's a page turner. Once you start reading it and you see the lived-in world that Frank Miller creates in this dystopian future with the fighting factions, and Martha Washington herself joins the remade U.S. Army in the form of the Pax Service, it's called, a reference to like Pax Romana, the forced peace, because that's pretty much what the Army does in the future, is just force down riots and rebellions because they're constant. What does the American dream mean in the future when everything's gone to hell? There's the big question of the series. And Martha Washington is a patriot at this time. She's a believer in the American dream. But what does that mean in a dystopia? How could it possibly play out or be of any worth? Fascinating story, totally worth reading. One of the standouts of Frank Miller's writing. And that's my pitch.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, like I said, I've looked into that one, but I've not read it yet. And it was long before we actually started even considering doing the comic, curation that you mentioned that comic, and I've been looking to try and set aside time to read it.
Johnny Hellcat says, I always thought Martha Washington was the character from Night Court. Shows how much I know. What? Jack, you're old. What does that mean?
You don't remember Night Court?
I'm aware of the show. Like, I've seen it in syndication stuff, but what's the reference inside? Is there a character named Martha Washington in that show?
I believe there is.
My friend had a Martha Goes to War poster. That's cool. That's cool. All right, so there it is, gentlemen. Another episode in the can. Chat, thank you for coming along. Appreciate you guys. Oh, Marsha Warfield. I gotcha. I know who that is. The actress. Chat, as always, thanks for showing up. Much appreciated. And for those who view in the future, thanks for viewing. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, by all means, like and subscribe. The likes really do help. That engagement really does help. Sharing the link on Twitter would be greatly appreciated if you are so inclined. My final thoughts are, well, as they always are, read collected editions. They're awesome. It's a great way to go. If you don't like what the big two plus others are doing, there's lots of great back issues. And we present a hell of a lot of them here. I was asked on the Monkey stream last night. Remember that, Jack, when somebody asked, I don't read comics, but are there any good stories? Like, are they well written?
Yeah.
And that was a great question for somebody who doesn't read comics. It's like, are they really like juvenile and for kids, or are there any of the stories really well written? Great question. Some of them are, some of them aren't. We try and pitch ones that definitely are, that are engrossing. Martha Washington, Give Me Liberty is a great example of a really engrossing story. If you like the superhero stuff, the Green Lantern one was awesome. Fables, what a great spin on the classic fairy tales, right? So yeah, a lot of them are really well written, and we hope you get some suggestions of what to look into that would interest you. Quiz?
As always, look for those resale shops and local conventions. That sort of place is a wealth of the sort of discovery. I gotta say that having Fabels was purely a sort of impulse buy. I played the Walking Dead season 1 from Telltale, and really dug that. And then I heard that they were going to, make the Wolf Among Us. I was like, what is that on? Based around, because at least Walking Dead was based around a comic, and then I find out that Wolf Among Us is based around a comic. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to look up that comic and I'm going to go and see it. I found it at Half Price Books. Boom! Now I have the entire volumes. So yes, that sort of thing is a way to discover new stuff that maybe you might not have considered before. Half Price Books will have a gigantic 9-foot bookcase full of graphic novels that you can peruse through, and they'll be fairly affordable.
Cool. Jack?
Neelix is a sea monkey.
I agree.
Thank you.
That was your final thought?
Yeah, that show sucked until 7 and 9 showed up. So going out like I came in, complaining about Voyager.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It was great. You know what? The season before 7 of 9 came in was quality. When 7 of 9 came in, it was great. But then she started banging the showrunner, and it became the 7 of 9 show, and all about her and her personal drama, and then it started to suck again. So,
well, yeah, the show was terrible to begin with, so you're kind of polishing a turd. So,
oh fuck. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.